Hi guys, it's Penguin Design here to bring you the third part on our How to Make a Video Game in Unity 5 tutorial series, specifically focusing on Crossy Roads. So if you open up Unity 5 and you open up the most recent project that we did, which was named Crossy Roads for me, you notice that we imported the model and applied all the animations to it. But if you haven't noticed, it doesn't rotate depending on what direction it's pointing. Second of all, although it's hard to tell, if you zoom in slightly, you'll notice that it has this gross white outline to it. So to fix that, we're going to go up to Edit, Project Settings, Quality, and then under Anti-Aliasing, Disabled. That will fix that issue. Now let's get on to making it so that it rotates depending on the direction that it's pointing in. We're going to open up our bounce and animation controller script. So from your bounce script, copy all of this if input section, Control C, and then paste it after this else statement. You can delete everything that's inside the brackets, and you can get rid of the end statement as follows. Once you've done that, in the if statement's condition, what you can do is you can select all of this, press Control C, Control F, Control V, press down, replace with this all, and it should delete it all. That's a quick little tip. So now that it's checked if we've pressed any of these buttons, what do we want it to do once you do that? So what we're going to do is write GameObject with a lowercase g, which means it's affecting this object, .transform.rotation equals quaternion, which is the equivalent of a vector 3 for rotation, .Euler, because we only want 3 terms. Now in this terms, because we pressed right, we're going to make it 0, 90, 0. We can now proceed to copy this line, Control C, paste it in left, and instead make it negative 90. Up it would be 0, and down it would be 180. Give that a save, open up Unity, wait for Unity to compile, and as you can see we have no errors in our console. Hopefully if we press play, it's rotating accordingly. Yeah, that looks good. So now what we're going to do is make it so the main camera follows the chicken. So we're going to go into our project window and in our scripts folder create a new C# script, and I'm going to call it camera follow. But you can name it whatever you want. Now double click on this to open it up in MonoDevelop, and to begin with we can already just delete the void start. This is going to take barely any code, but it's going to do quite a lot. So we're going to have to define 2 variables up here. One which is a public game object, and this can be called whatever you want, but I'm going to call it chicken player, semicolon, and before we continue, press save and go back to Unity. Now with your main camera selected, drag the camera follow script onto it. As you can see, we have this chicken player variable here that we defined as public. And now select the parent object and drag it in. So now back in MonoDevelop, what we're going to do is define another vector 3 variable this time. So write vector 3, and you can name this like exit position, whatever you want, but I'm going to call it should position, or should pause, because it's easier to write. So now we're going to set this variable that we just defined. So we're going to use a function known as lerp. And we've been using it quite a lot, so you should be familiar, but if you don't know what it is, it linearly interpolates between 2 numbers. So we're going to write GameObject with a lowercase g, and transform its position. And so then we go from this position to the chicken player .transform.position, and we do this by time.delta time, so that it is frame rate independent. Hit save, and now we'll make one more line, and that's simply GameObject with a lowercase g .transform.position equals a new vector 3, vector 3, and this vector 3 will be should position, comma, we don't really need to transform its y position, so we'll just leave it at the default, which is 1, and then it should be should position .x, and this one should be should position.c. Add a semicolon, save it. Now if we go back into Unity, wait for it to compile down there, hopefully, yeah, our camera is following our chicken, which is already pretty exciting. So we achieved that in less than 5 minutes or so. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.